In this video, we are going to explain how to solve a partial variation question. So this is a pure exams question. So consider staying here to the end of the video so that you don't miss any steps. Now, what does it mean to solve a partial variation? So the first key here is that what is the meaning of the partly? So the English definitions of a partly is that to some extent, or maybe you are part, right? So you are part, or maybe you are part of your exams, your mathematics fear, right? Or maybe your mathematics failure. That is the meaning to certain point, right? To some degree. So partly. So that's the meaning of this guy here. Now, how if you bring that idea in mathematics, how are you going to solve this question like this? So all that we are saying here is that if you represent this y by, let's say, u, and then you are saying that some people are the cause of your failure in mathematics, your fear, that anxiety in mathematics, then let's see how to go about it. Don't let this guy panic you. This is a variable. It's just a name being used to represent these two things here. You see these notorious letters in mathematics, right? Okay. Now, y varies. So let's say take it from here. A variable y is partly constant. Now, this requires certain level of understanding of a direct and an indirect variation, right? So if you don't understand that, maybe a full video will be down this description here, right? So you may consider checking that. But the whole idea in this video, we will explain that for you for a better understanding. This is how the equation is going to be, but how did you arrive at this point, right? So y varies. Oh, why do I keep on saying y varies? Huh? So let's say a variable y is partly constant and then partly vary as the square of x. So the first part, y is partly constant. So what it means here, you are blaming that the cause of your failure, the cause of your math anxiety is caused by what? A constant of someone, right? So a constant. What do you mean by a constant here? We don't know. A constant is a number. Let's say that person took you out for 2 hours, 3 hours for an enjoyment every day, almost every day, or maybe 2 times, 3 times in a week. So we don't know because the thing changes from person to person. So in mathematics, we are going to use a letter, this guy here, K, to represent that. How many hours are you going to spend out? Because that is the reason why you are blaming that guy is the cause, is part of your failure in mathematics or your fear in mathematics. Is that okay? Now remember, this is just for an understanding purpose of the concept, right? Okay. Obviously, it's true. If you keep on blaming people in this life, then you are not going to succeed. You have to bear the cost or take the risks by yourself. Is that okay? So that is the first party. Now, and partly varies at the square of what, and then you are blaming another this guy that he or she also contribute to the failure or the fear of what your mathematics in this life, right? So how does this guy contribute to it? He contributed by what? Multiples of itself. That guy is a very notorious guy, right? So this is how you write out the x square, right? Or the square of x. Is that okay? Now, someone may ask, where is this guy coming from? Remember, this end here is just end of from this thing, right? End is end means your addition. So the first part has already gone, and there's another person who is also contributing to the fear of what mathematics here. How does that guy contribute? Contributed by what? The square of what is which is the SC. Now remember, from the direct and the indirect, there must always be a constant that tells you that how the person keep on changing, right? Just for understanding purpose. That is why we have this guy and this guy, because all of them are partly contributing to your fear in mathematics. So this guy is key. We are naming this one to be 1 and then this one to be the second person 2. That causes the changes of your fear in mathematics. It doesn't make a little bit sense. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to this channel and then you are enjoying what we are doing here, don't hesitate to do that. Then comment down below if you have any special questions for us. Once you're able to grab this, we believe that almost 50% of your problem has been solved. Is that okay? Now let's proceed. When s is equal to 2 and then y is equal to 6, what is happening? Just solve the question step by step. Y is equal to 6. We are replacing y here by 6. So this is the question here that we are having. So we are replacing the y by 6 equal to the k. We don't know this k here. So don't let this thing, how this guy contributes to your failure, we are going to figure out in a second. So plus another this guy here, And then what is the values of the x? S is just equal to 2 squared. So that's going to be equal to 2 plus what? I cannot go straight forward. This guy is equal to 4, right? So 4, always the numbers in front. Is that okay? 2 squared will give me 4. Now let's name this guy equation 1, because why are we naming it? We don't know the values of this for us to find the values of the second one. Is that okay? Now the second part here is saying that when s is equal to 3 and then y is equal to 10, right? So when s is equal to 3 and then y is equal to 10, what is happening? You have to substitute that again into this equation to have the second one, right? So y, okay, let me underline this, and then y is equal to 10. Remember, this is the same equation that we are using, equal to the first k1 plus another k2, and then s is equal to just 3. This is just going to be 10 equal to, we have our k1 plus 3 all day. Okay, and then let's name this one to equation 2. Right? Okay, perfect. Now if you want to proceed, and then how are you going to proceed? You are going to solve these two guys here simultaneously. Right? So this is the first one, and then this is the second one. Remember from the previous part here supposed to be 9, right? Remember, because the s is being squared. Is that okay? So make sure that you follow along. Okay, now these are the two equations that we are having. How are you going to solve this thing? How are you going to solve them? You solve them by using the simultaneous equation, right? If you don't know, do I need to solve this thing? Okay, let me hear from you in the comment section below if you want me to solve this thing, right? So whichever method you want to use is up to you. Someone can go for an elimination, right? Elimination or substitution. Here there's no restriction here. It's okay, whichever method you want to use is up to you. But if you don't know how to use the how do you call it, any of the two, or you don't know how to solve a simultaneous equation, just comment in the comment section below how, and then I will let you understand a better way of solving this thing. But for me, maybe for simplicity, I can say I will use an elimination. So this guy will vanish, right? So this, if you subtract equation 2 from equation 1, you see these two guys here, so it's going to be okay. Let me solve that for you. So let 10 is equal to k1. This equation 2 first, because I say equation 2 minus equation 1, so plus 9 of the k2. So here everything minus the equation 1, that is the 6, going to be equal to k1 plus 4 of the k2. We are subtracting. It's just simple. Don't let this thing let us bring any panic to you. This guy is going to be equal to 4, right? 10 minus 6, and you're going to go this k minus k. Just say this one to be 0 minus 0, 1 minus 1, 1000 minus 1000. It is still 0, right? So this is going to be the numbers to the number because the letters are the same. So here we are going to have 5 of what? The k2. Does it make sense? So here we have 4. The 0 plus anything is just equal to another 0. If you know how to do this, and just make sure that you skip the video, right? So we are looking for this k2 here. So how are you going to do with the k2? You divide here by 5 and then divide here by 5. Whichever number is attached to the k, it must vanish, right? So this one and this cancel out, and then we have our, this means that we have our k2 is going to be equal to 4 on 5. That is for the k2. Is that okay? If this is for the k2, what will be for the k1? The first guy that keep on helping us or going out all the time without even having some simple 30 minutes an hour to enjoy our mathematics per day, and then we are here saying that mathematics is difficult. Meanwhile, you've never sit down and practice anything before. How are you going to achieve? It's never done like that. Make sure that you change your habit. Okay, now for us to find the values of the k1, we just need to take this guy and plug them inside one of these equations. Which one you prefer is up to you. It's okay. So plug this thing inside one of these equations and tell me the values of your k1 in the comment section. K1 is equal to what? I'm not going to do this, and let me know. That tells me that you are participating, right? You can never watch someone riding a bicycle, you say that you can also do it. You have to get onto that bicycle and then ride it by yourself. Is that okay? So let me know the values of the k1. I've already showed you the way. Take this guy and plug them inside one of these equations, your favorite, any one that you want to go for, and then tell me the values of the K1 in the comment section below. Okay, now how are you going to proceed? Because you need to have those two things before you can proceed, right? So the first part of the question is saying that the equation, so you are going to find the equation connecting x and y, right? So the equation, how do you solve that? Now the way of solving that is that if you have the values of the K1 and the K2, all that you have to do here is that, where is our equation, the starting point here? So this is the equation that we had at the beginning. This is the general equation. What I mean by the general is because y is partly constant and then partly varies at the square of x, right? So this is how it goes. So if you have this to answer this particular question here is that the equation connecting x and y, what it means here is that you just need to find the values of this. Once you find that, and then you find this, is that okay? And then plug them, just replace them and write whatever you have down. I'll also expect that in the comment section below, right? So the first one is to look for the K1, and then you also look for this guy. It's okay, very, very simple and straightforward. It is never difficult until you start to practice, right? What about the second part? So here, find the values of the x when y is equal to 5, right? The value of the s when y is equal. That is very simple and a straightforward question, right? What are you looking for? We are looking for the x, this x here. So this is x. Now you have your y to be equal to 5. You just need to put the y 5 here. Whatever the values of the K1 and the K2 is, replace them there and then solve. You're going to solve for that, straightforward, and solve for that, right? You don't need anything. You don't just you see, you just keep on going like an ambulance doesn't have any specific, you don't obey any traffic. Hey, don't do that, you die early. So what I mean by that is that once you have the idea of this and that, you just need to keep on going, just your head down, keep on solving. You solve, and then you are even far more ahead of time, so you have more time to go through your exams questions. Is that okay? Very, very simple and straightforward. The same formula or procedure applies to the second part here. The second part is saying that you should find the value of what y when s is equal to 4. Let me have your answers in the comment section below, right? So math is so enjoyable if you understand. So if you, once again, haven't subscribed to this channel, don't hesitate to do so. Let us know in the comment section below which kind of topic you want us to assist you with for a better understanding. We love you and all the best.